Hello and welcome to today's Ask Me Anything Live. Hello Facebook, hello Instagram. We are going to start every Friday on 10 a.m. Central European time. Please check when this is for you. I think it's 6 p.m. Sydney. Now we're going to answer questions we get throughout the weeks. This week we talk about ranking drops, bounce rates, backlinks, website pausing, and frequently asked questions. So if you have any comments, please send them to support@seoleverage.com. We are going to check the questions there very often, quickly answer them with a few lines, and then go into more detail on the live calls. Let's start directly. Our first question is, why have my rankings dropped? What do I do now? And this question came after the last Google Core update. So if your rankings have dropped on May 4th, there's a very good chance it is based on the ranking update. What happens with core updates is that Google really readjusts their algorithm to make sure their top rankings are really relevant for their target users. How do they know they are relevant? Because they have hundreds of signals telling them whether users like or don't like what they see when they perform a certain search query. And this is not niche specific, this is really keyword specific. So on every keyword, users have a certain search intent in mind and they expect to find a certain result. The tricky thing is this isn't always the same. This changes over time. So what this means is that, for example, the top 10 movies you need to watch on Netflix is not something that's going to be static. You need to go back and update those contents to keep them current. If you have any legal advice, for example, this is not going to be the same. You're not going to give the best legal advice today, and in 5 years it's still relevant, not even in 6 months probably. And relevant also means that, for example, if now the best search result, what users really want, is a very long form article, this might change over time. We've just had a client where they have a 4 pages article, very deep in terms of insights and examples, etc. And Google suddenly decided people want to see short articles that get right to the point, right on top. So if this happens, you definitely want to revise what's ranking right now on Google after such an update. I think it ended around May 18th. So there was a 2 weeks rollout. You want to go in on May 18th, May 19th, whenever they announce it's done, and see what's ranking now. Where are you? What's ranking on top? Where are the differences between what is ranking on top and your search result that dropped in rankings? Because there might be just a very slight difference in topics that are being dealt with. Maybe users expect to have a video embedded. Maybe users expect you to have a list of the most important facts right on the top or something like this. Really check out the differences, and you need to do this on a page-by-page basis. So what we do here in the agency usually is we pick up Google Analytics, pick the organic segment. You can do this on top on Google Analytics, and then compare the last 30 days with the 30 days before the update happened and see which pages have lost traffic. And this gives you a list of URLs you want to check out and check out their keywords, check out what Google shows now and what you need to do better in order to get your traffic back. We've had very good success with this methodology. We're doing this all the time anyway, even if there are no big Google updates, because sometimes Google just tweaks something. They do updates, smaller updates every single day. And sometimes whenever you lose rankings, you want to see what's ranking right now, what is it, what Google wants from us, and how can we give it to them. Google is the one who decides. If you want to rank on Google, you need to ask Google what they want to rank. It's as simple as that. It's not easy, but it's as simple as that. This question says how to lower the bounce rate. So the bounce rate, in case you don't know about it, is really related to people coming to your site and then leaving your site without clicking anywhere. And the bounce rate, if a high bounce rate, very often, not always, very often is an indicator that people are not finding what they're looking for. So they have a different intent in mind when they come to your site, and they really want to make sure you want to make sure that they get what they want, or at least provide them enough options to further explore content on your website without going back to Google and clicking on another result. So if you have a high bounce rate, what you essentially want to do is go through your article, think about which intent could people have in mind when they come to this article, what could they be searching for, make sure they can quickly find those things. Sometimes it helps to have like an index on top, like Wikipedia, where you can cherry pick the subtopics that are being dealt with in the article, and they can directly jump down. There you give different further references. Internal linking usually helps. Some banners can help, which drive people to different sections of your page in case they want to explore a little bit more. And sometimes it's really a matter of splitting up the article. So if you get a lot of traffic, Google obviously likes the article. But the thing is, if users don't like it too much over time, there is a good chance that Google is going to lower your rankings. So what you want to do is sometimes you want to split it up in different, more segmented search intents so that people really find what they're looking for. A high bounce rate could be an indicator, there's no proof of that, could be an indicator for Google that people don't like what they see. Very often it's related to people going back to Google and clicking on another result, and this is definitely something Google takes into account. Where to place articles with backlinks was another question we got this week, and this is related to what's called guest posting. So link building in general is very important because links are one of the most important signals to Google, indicating that the site is worth ranking high on Google, high on search results, if the links are relevant, if the links come from important sites in the respective niche. And one of the best link building methods even today, and also for branding purposes, is guest posting. So guest posting means that you as an expert in your niche write an article and another site publishes it and usually links to you to your site as a reference of the author of this article. It's the same, I've done this before on magazines where you write an article, they kind of put you a small bio at the end and say this is a guest article from Gert who was working at SEOleverage.com, for example. In the online world, on blogs, this usually happens in a very similar way. So a good way to get links to your site is actually contributing to other sites, and they might then link back to your site and give you this link juice or part of their authority as a recommendation to your site. And Google picks up those signals. And if you have a lot of very good articles, I wouldn't write something in 5 minutes and send it to the blog. I would really see this as like a PR strategy where you get exposure on another site. Think of this as contributing to your personal brand or to your company's brand. Make this article very worthwhile. Aim for getting this article ranking on that site as well, because if that article is going to rank in your niche on that site, your link is going to be much more valuable to Google as well. And you're usually getting direct traffic, more brand exposure, and a lot of advantages. Do this wrong, and Google is going to pick up this as a negative strategy or an intent to manipulate their algorithm. So I wouldn't use guest posting to drive exact match anchor texts. We're going to go into detail on this one another time, but you can Google it if you want. I would focus this on your brand, get exposure to your brand, get people noticing your brand in the respective context you want to be known for. And this is going to be definitely contributing to your strategy. Where to place those articles is then really a matter of relevance. So I would kind of probably look at my niche, then take a step back, look at niches that are very related, and then reach out to both and see if I can get content published there. So if you're running a pet store, you would probably stay away from SEO blogs. But if you're an SEO blog, you probably could try to get ranking in quite a few niches just because SEO is relevant everywhere, and tweak the article to make it more relevant for example, SEO for pet stores. Okay, so it really depends on the one hand, what's essentially relevant for your niche, and then on the article you publish there, how you can make it relevant for the respective site's audience. Okay, so if this was a pet store or a consultant for pet stores, they probably could be a good target for us. and we would talk about how pet stores can leverage local SEO to attract more customers to their site. This one's interesting because summer is coming. We will see how holiday and vacation time is going to happen this year. But this was an e-commerce store who was thinking about pausing their website. It's a one-person store. They want to take a vacation, and they thought of pausing their site. So what they essentially wanted to do is just show one page that says we're on vacation and coming back in 2 weeks, and not allowing people to navigate through their site. My initial reaction was, I don't think this is a good idea, not only from an SEO purpose point of view, but also from a conversion and sales point of view. You have to think that people have like a long decision span. Okay, so I've been researching a certain woodworking tool, for example, for months. Not sure when I'm going to purchase it, but it would kind of annoy me if I couldn't do the research now, even if I'm going to purchase it in October. So if you take a vacation and you completely block the site, from a conversion standpoint, you're going to have like a time span where people can't research on your site what they want to purchase from you eventually. So this can backfire afterwards, and it's probably hard to track how much this is, but you definitely are going to have an impact. Another thing is that during this time, obviously Google can't crawl your site. Google people going to your site are going to send negative signals to Google, because they go back to Google and then click on another result. This is exactly what we want to avoid. So pause, and a solution for this, and we did this with a car repair store, for example, was for us to really have a red banner on top on every single page that says no service is provided between these days due to vacation or something like this. The site was fully functional. If you have an e-commerce store, I would probably disable the purchasing directly, or make it extremely clear on many stages that this is not going to be shipped before the date XYZ, so people know what's happening. But maybe it makes sense to let them still purchase the product if they know it's going to take a month to be delivered, but they still want it. Let them by all means purchase it. And I think this is a good solution if you really need to take a break. One person businesses obviously also need to take a break, and you can't always be all the time online. But by all means, don't shut down your website due to just too many reasons, not only SEO related, which definitely will have an impact, but also conversion and brand related. The last question for now apparently is, are fact pages still useful? So fact pages, frequently asked question pages, have always been, I would say, a very good source for traffic. Whenever you can answer a question your target audience has, it's going to be an investment into your business growth. So I remember a site, I didn't even know what inbound marketing was back then, but I recommended, I think it was in 2010, probably 2009. I recommended one of my first clients in Spain. They just should put up a blog and answer questions. So I thought, look, the questions that come up in client conversations are probably going to be very similar to the questions that come up on Google. So why don't you make a list, have your sales reps make a list of all questions that come up, and then answer them on individual blog posts. So this particular client, for example, now still gets leads from posts answering questions from 2011. They have been doing this consistently over many years, 2 times a month. They answer a question that comes up. And it's incredible what they have built in terms of a source of organic free leads coming in every day. Not all posts are going to work, but definitely some of them are, and they're going to compound over time. So you get an incredible impact here. Fact pages themselves also got some more traction with structured markup, or schema markup as we call it, which is like a code you can place on your site so Google can easily extract the question and the answer and show it directly in search results. So you will find very often when you search for something on Google, there are more and more search components. So components or boxes on Google giving you directly the answer you were looking for, because they extract it from the website and put it on Google. So fact pages are a very good source for this. They need to be taken in a little bit with a grain of salt, because you could essentially lose traffic. So sometimes your answer is just perfect, it's just exactly what people want, and they don't click through to your website for more information. But other times you can definitely get more traction just because you make it so easy for people to get a quick answer, and then they can click through to your site. It's something I would definitely focus on. Questions, whenever we have this in our site audits, for example, in our keyword research, we have a separate section only on questions, and this is where we ask people to start with. So answer these questions for a start. Google is going to very quickly give you some traction here. And at the same time, you can mark it up, appear in the search boxes, get some traffic, but definitely track what happens. If you already have those question pages, before you do the structured markup, make sure you track what happens before and afterwards, because sometimes in individual cases it can backfire and you can lose some traffic to your website because you're just providing the answer in such a great way. There's no need to click through. Fact pages, definitely do them. If you can group them up, like questions about on-page SEO, questions about how to ride a bicycle, I don't know, group them up however you can, so Google can make more sense of them and allow Google to jump directly to the answer and extract the answer in a structured markup. Apparently, there are no further questions. I would really advise you to, if you want to take SEO seriously, get a quick audit. I think it's $22 on our website right now. And after that, I jump on a quick call with every single client who gets a quick audit. And we talk like for 15-30 minutes about some ideas what they can do with the site. If it's just that, you get a almost free consulting session with me, sharing some insights on what you can do, what should be the next steps, and then you can still decide what you want to do with it. But the quick audit is on our website. Go to seoleverage.com, hit the quick audit button, get it there. We deliver it in 3 days, I think, right now. And afterwards, we have a quick chat. I think if there are no further questions, I would like to thank you very much for your attention, for being here on this call. We've had quite a few people today, which is great. I'm going to do these calls every single Friday. My team is as kind as to also upload my videos, my answers to our YouTube channel. So make sure you follow us on YouTube on SEO Leverage. We are going to upload, I think, the entire version, and then we break the versions up into individual question and answer parts as well. So if there are no further questions, have a great time, have a good weekend. Hope to see you next week again, and we go through more SEO related questions, and maybe sometimes we also get some team building and online business questions, which is always great for a change. Keep the questions coming. Send them to support@seoleverage.com or via direct message on our social media channels. I'm also on Instagram with the nickname Gert Mellak, so it could be interesting to also reach out there, follow me. I'm sharing as much advice as possible to help you get better rankings. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much for being here.